In the rugged and inhospitable wilderness of the 19th century American frontier, one's will to survive was pushed to the limit. Hugh Glass, a border guard and fur trapper, has faced death in its most terrifying form. Abandoned by his teammates in horrific circumstances, Glass embarks on an extraordinary journey of survival and revenge. In this video, we unravel the fascinating story of Hugh Glass, a man who has returned from the dead for revenge. Remember to hit the like button because it helps us a lot. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the notification bell to not miss the upcoming interesting videos. Hugh Glass, born in 1783 in Pennsylvania to an Irish family of immigrants from present-day Northern Ireland, had a life full of mysteries that have remained largely unconfirmed. His story of the frontier is filled with fascinating pieces. It is assumed to him that in 1816, Glass was captured by notorious pirates led by Jean Lafitte in the Gulf of Mexico, off the coast of Texas. He was then coerced into being a pirate for a period of 2 years before making a daring escape, swimming ashore near what is now Galveston, Texas. According to the historical data studied, it is rumored that he was captured by the Pawnee tribe, where he lived for several years. Then Glass went to St. Louis, Missouri in 1821, accompanied several Pawnee delegates invited to meet with the American government. In 1822, an advertisement placed by General William Henry Ashley in the Missouri Gazette and Public Advertiser appealed to many interested men. The general is looking for a formidable team of 100 brave men to embark on a journey up the Missouri River to form an integral part of his ambitious fur business venture. Among them were notable figures such as John S. Fitzgerald, James Clyman, and Jedediah Smith, who were later recognized as members of the famous group known as Ashley's 100. Interestingly, Hugh Glass didn't initially join Ashley's group until the following year, when he finally became part of the venerable expedition led by Ashley himself. It was June 1823. Their paths intertwined with those who had enlisted in 1822 and faced a dangerous encounter with the warriors of Arikara. Amid the chaos, Glass suffers a gunshot wound to the leg, while the surviving members are forced to retreat downstream, seeking help in their dire straits. It was during this period that Glass wrote a heartfelt letter to the grieving parents of John S. Gardner, who tragically passed away on June 2, 1823. After the arduous journey, Glass and the rest of the Ashley group returned to Fort Kiowa, where they managed to regroup and prepare for the expedition to the west. It was at this point that Andrew Henry, Ashley's partner, joined their ranks. Together with Glass and a few others, they set out on a safari to the Yellowstone River, near the confluence of the Grand River, near present-day Shade Hill Reservoir in Perkins County, South Dakota. Their main objective is foraging by hunting wild animals. The group split up and went into the forest to hunt animals. However, fate had other plans for Glass. In the wilderness, Glass accidentally meets a large grizzly bear. Startled and provoked by Glass's presence, the bear charged, picked him up, bit, slashed, and lacerated his flesh, seriously wounded him, and forced him to the ground. Everything happened so fast, Glass didn't have time to react. When things calmed down, the big bear started to stop attacking and go around. Glass bleeds profusely, leaving him just helplessly lying on the ground. Hearing Glass's desperate cry for help, some team members quickly rushed to Glass and many shots were fired. They ended the life of the ferocious grizzly bear. According to Hiram Allen, another trapper who witnessed the horrifying scene, he recounted, "The monster had torn the flesh from the lower part of the body and from the lower limbs. He also had his neck shockingly torn, even to the degree that an aperture appeared to have been made into the windpipe, and his breath to exude at the side of its neck. Blood flowed freely, but fortunately no bones were broken, and his hands and arms were not disabled. Although the men had little hope in his survival, they bravely carried Glass for 2 days, albeit at a greatly reduced rate that hampered the group's progress. Realizing Glass's dire condition, Henry asked 2 volunteers to stay by his side until he died and gave him a proper burial. John S. Fitzgerald and a man identified as Bridges are ready to step out to complete this mission. While the rest of the crew continued their journey, Fitzgerald and Bridges began digging for Glass's final resting place. However, their important mission is suddenly interrupted by a surprise attack from Arikara, prompting the two to hastily seize Glass's rifle, knife, and other belongings before making a quick escape. Eventually, Fitzgerald and Bridges catch up with the rest of the group, but they lie to Ashley that Glass passed away from his injuries. There's a debate about whether Bridges is really the famous mountain man, Jim Bridger. Meanwhile, despite all the difficulties, Glass awakens only to find himself abandoned without any weapons or equipment. With festering wounds, broken legs, and deep lacerations, Glass lay bare and mutilated, more than 200 miles from the nearest American settlement at Fort Kiowa at the Missouri River. With nothing but the bearskin over his body, Glass, with his indomitable will, began the arduous journey back to Kiowa Fortress. In a desperate attempt to prevent the risk of gangrene, Glass allowed the maggots to eat and clean the infection of his wounds, a grisly but effective measure to prevent further infection. Glass used Thunder Butte as a navigational marker, and he began to crawl overland south to the Cheyenne River, where he attempted to build a rudimentary raft and drifted downstream to Fort Kiowa. The journey took 6 weeks, and he finally reached the fortress. During this difficult journey, he survived mainly on wild berries and roots. After recovering from his wounds, Glass sets out to find Fitzgerald and Bridges. First, he went to Fort Henry on the Yellowstone River, but found it deserted. A miner reveals to Glass that Andrew Henry and his comrades have moved to a new garrison at the mouth of the Bighorn River. It was there that Glass finally met Bridges. Bridges showed great remorse for his previous actions, so Glass forgave him, and he decided to once again join Ashley's ranks. Later, Glass learned of Fitzgerald's connection to the military, stationed at Fort Atkinson. Instead of seeking revenge, Glass spared Fitzgerald's life, as he would be killed by the Army captain for killing a U.S. Army soldier. However, before leaving, Glass issues a warning to Fitzgerald, making it clear that he must never leave the Army, or else he would be killed instantly. Also, as part of the aftermath, the captain asked Fitzgerald to return the stolen rifle to Glass, and he received an additional $300 in compensation, as recounted in Yount's story. After returning to the border, Glass continued to pursue his work as a trapper and fur trader. He later found work as a skilled hunter for the United States Army garrison stationed at Fort Union near Williston, North Dakota. Tragically, in early 1833, Glass was killed along with 2 fellow trappers during an Arikara raid along the Yellowstone River. Today, a memorial in honor of Glass stands tall at the site of this fateful event. The execution took place on the south coast of present-day Shade Hill Reservoir in Perkins County, South Dakota, at the confluence of the Grand River. Nearby, the Hugh Glass Lakeside Use Area, overseen by the Grand River government. A peaceful setting for free camping and picnicking, preserves the memory of this frontier legend. Please like and share if you find the video content interesting and useful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment below so as not to miss the upcoming interesting videos. Thanks for watching.